Welcome to Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel, your go-to resource for everything manufactured housing.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today, we are looking at sizing your mobile home's air conditioner based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com. So, here's the game plan for today. We're going to kick things off with the biggest and frankly most expensive mistake that we see people make. Then we'll get into why mobile homes are just, well, they're different. After that, we'll give you the baseline rule to get started, but then show you all the other factors you have to consider. We'll wrap it all up with a super handy 5-step checklist and a look at some real-world cost estimates for 2026. Okay, let's dive right in. And trust me, the stakes here are high. Getting your AC size wrong isn't just a small oops. It can seriously mess with your home's health and, yeah, your bank account. It's one of the costliest errors you can make. So let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. Could your air conditioner actually be doing more harm than good? Because a unit that's the wrong size doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it can be quietly causing some major damage. This slide right here, it breaks it down perfectly. There's a huge difference between being cold and being comfortable. See, a unit that's too big does something called short cycling. It blasts your home with icy air, hits the temperature on the thermostat really fast, and then just shuts off. The problem is, it never runs long enough to do its other huge job, which is pulling all that sticky humidity out of the air. And that's what gives you that gross, cold, but clammy feeling, and eventually leads to mold. Not good. And look, this isn't some textbook theory we're talking about. This comes from the trenches. Chuck Odell, our founder at Mobile Home Friend, saw this firsthand over and over again. This is a lesson that was learned out in the real world, working on actual homes. So you might be thinking, why can't I just grab any old AC unit from the big box store? Well, it's not that simple. It all boils down to one word: airflow. The entire system in a manufactured home is built differently, and honestly, a lot of contractors out there just don't get it. And this right here is the reason why. Manufactured homes have ductwork that's a lot smaller and tighter. It's like trying to breathe through a coffee stirrer instead of a big straw. A normal AC blower just doesn't have the muscle to push air through that. That's why you absolutely need a high-static blower. It's designed specifically for this job, to power through those tight spaces. And if you're wondering what happens when you get this wrong, well, this is it. We've seen it with our own eyes. Someone installs a standard unit, the airflow gets choked, and pretty soon that evaporator coil turns into a giant, solid block of ice. And just like that, your brand new system is toast. Okay, enough with the horror stories, right? Let's talk solutions. Where do you even begin? Well, the good news is there's a really solid rule of thumb that gives you a perfect starting point. The number you need to remember is 1 ton. 1 ton of cooling power for every 500 to 600 square feet of your home. That's the industry standard for manufactured homes, and it's a super simple, really effective place to start your math. Right? But is it really that simple? Of course not. If it was, we wouldn't need to do this whole deep dive. That baseline number, that's just step 1. So now we take that baseline number and we get real. Because your home doesn't exist in a laboratory, right? We're not just trying to cool empty space. We're trying to combat the total heat load of your home. And that depends on a whole bunch of other things. See, you gotta think of your home as a whole system. It's pretty obvious that where you live makes a huge difference, but so does the quality of your insulation, or if you have old, drafty windows. If you have poor insulation, all that wonderful cold air your AC is making is just leaking right outside, making your unit work way harder than it should. Here's a great example of what I'm talking about. As we noted on the site, that crazy humidity you get down in the south is a massive factor. Just living in that kind of environment means you probably need to add an extra half ton of cooling power to your baseline right off the bat. Okay, this is what you've been waiting for. We've taken the exact method the pros use and boiled it down into a simple 5-step checklist that you can use on your own. It's perfect for checking your current system or for making sure a contractor's quote is on the level. Let's walk through it. 1. Go outside and find the data plate on your unit. You're looking for the BTU rating. Just remember, 12,000 BTUs is 1 ton. 2. Do the basic math. Divide your square footage by 600. 3. Factor in your climate zone. 4. Do a quick audit of your ductwork. You'd be surprised how many problems are caused by a couch sitting on top of a floor register. And 5, and this is a big one, make sure your indoor A-coil matches your outdoor unit. If they're mismatched, the system will never work right. Now, if you want the full technical breakdown, all the nitty-gritty details, you can find that in the post on mobilehomefriend.com. All right, let's talk money. The big question, right? What should you actually expect to pay for a new, correctly sized, professionally installed system? Well, these are the estimates we're forecasting for 2026 based on everything we're seeing in the market. So, for a typical single wide, you're probably looking at a 2-ton unit. That's going to set you back somewhere in the ballpark of $4,000 to $5,000 installed. For a double wide needing a 3-ton unit, you're looking closer to that $5,000 to $7,000 range. And remember, these prices should include everything: the unit, the labor, all of it. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this last piece of advice. And honestly, this might be the most important thing we've talked about. If you know your home has bad insulation, don't just go buy a bigger AC unit to make up for it. That's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it by just turning the water on higher. You gotta fix the leak first. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Getting the sizing right isn't just about being comfortable tomorrow. It's about making your unit last longer, saving money on your bills, and protecting the actual structure of your home from moisture and mold for years and years to come, which is something we are always talking about over on the Mobile Home Friend website. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomeframe.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.